Good morning. I hope everyone's well. Vee Roberts here, Insight2Marketing. I want to talk to you this morning about the importance of campaigns and promoting your brand in a way that will make you more visible and also more consistent in terms of how you attract new business to your business. So if you've never seen me before, let me just quickly say I am the branding and marketing consultant who started her business on just £100. And I don't know about you, but I actually love what I do in terms of helping people, giving you clarity and working with you to get smarter in terms of how you use your marketing. A lot of us are actually not using marketing so well because we're not sure on what we should be doing. So first of all, let me just say, if it's the first time you're watching me, where have you been? I've been actually doing this in my business for the last 6+ years, but marketing and branding is something I've been doing for 16+ years. So it's over 23 years I've been actually working with branding and marketing. And what I want to talk about this morning is something that's quite important actually, because I think a lot of the time we talk about branding and marketing and strategy and getting things organized and being consistent and having funnels and all of these buzzwords come about, right? But actually what's important is that you've got some way of staying memorable, and that's where campaigns and recurring messages and repurposed content come in neatly. So what I'm going to say to you today is, I'm not sure what you're working on at the moment, and I've got Bee and Say Coffee and KP Music. Let me know where you're watching from, please. And of course, if you join the replay, also let me know you've watched the replay. When you're doing a campaign, it basically means that you are using multiple platforms to promote your brand. Okay, it basically means that you're actually coordinating your efforts in terms of your marketing and your branding on more than one channel. So what that might look like, as an example, is you actually having a set of leaflets that look very similar to a banner on your website where you might be running a special offer that might then turn into an email about that special offer to your mailing list, that might then include an article that you've written on, let's say, LinkedIn, that is actually directing people to your email, that might then also end up being a video, right? So there you've got about 5 or 6 things I think I mentioned off the top of my head. That's basically what constitutes a campaign. So we've got KP Music watching from South West London, Battersea. Okay, that's where I grew up. Falconbrook, Surrey Lane, that was my beginnings, SW11. Welcome, thanks for watching. So yeah, what I'm talking about here is actually coordinating your marketing efforts. So a lot of us talk about promotional activities and tactics in silo, really, because we talk about doing leaflets, we talk about doing business cards, we talk about doing banners, but we don't actually think about how it all comes together. And that's why it's important to work with a coach or to get advice from someone who really understands strategies and campaigns. So just a quick tip to you, if you've got lots of different marketing materials and maybe they all look different, or maybe you've got different types of communications that's going out, think about how you can actually create a campaign. And it's really easy, it's not hard. If you know who your audience are, just give me a number 1 in the comments box if you're really clear already on who your audience is. If you know who your audience are, all you've got to do is make sure that your artwork, in other words your branding, looks really good, appealing to them, using the images that they will respond to and messaging that they'll respond to, but also that you're placing in the right spaces. So in the example that I shared earlier, if you've got outdoor advertising, if you're fortunate enough to do things like billboards or bus backs, whatever marketing you've got that actually shares that artwork needs to be replicated in magazines, needs to be replicated in, let's say, a radio ad if you were doing it on audio, needs to be replicated in your email, your video, your articles and so on. So that's basically what a campaign is. And if you're strategic enough, you will know that timing is important. So when you're organising all of this content, the leaflet, the flyer, the banner, the website, the special offer, that campaign is best executed when you've actually got something going on. So let's say, for example, this month you've had Carers Week, you've had Pride Month, you've got Send, you've got lots of different things going on. You've had previous to this Valentine's Day, Martin Luther King's birthday, all kinds of things that have happened. And these are activities, or rather dates in your diary, where you can actually effectively run campaigns. And this is what a lot of us aren't aware of. So when you see, for example, Christmas messaging coming out from high streets, and let me know where you're watching from if you've just joined. When you see Christmas messaging come out from high street brands like John Lewis, Selfridges, Walmart if you're in the US, Epicurean if you're in the Caribbean, anywhere, if you see a campaign, it's typical that campaign will have a certain look and theme about it. So the very same brochure that you see advertising the Christmas catalogue that's coming out will be the same picture that you see on the bus or the tube or even on the back of a ticket, right? Let me know if you correspond with what I'm saying. Just give me a number 1 in the comments box. So this is why it's important that if you've got a brand, you are aware of the best way to promote it, the different platforms you can use, and also what actually constitutes a campaign. It's not just enough to have a leaflet or a banner or a flyer and just give it out willy-nilly. Actually, you're going to get the best results if you consider a strategy, how you're going to show up, what platforms you're going to use, and also what kind of coordinated efforts you're going to have to make sure you get results. Because a lot of us are printing stuff, paying for stuff, doing interviews, doing all kinds of different stuff, and we're not getting the results we deserve because what? We haven't actually looked at the best way to coordinate a campaign. Some of you may not have even heard of the term campaign, but let me just put it into layman's terms. Barack Obama, Donald Trump, the Americans probably do it best as a case study of what you could say in terms of campaigns, political campaigns. So that means everywhere you see this artwork or this person's face or this person's brand, you know what they stand for. You know that you need to cast a vote for them or do some kind of rally with them. You already know. And in the same way, that's how your brand should work, whether you're doing a business, product or service, whether you're giving solutions to people, whether you've got an online course or a book. When you're promoting your brand, it's really business critical that people see the same message over and over again, because textbook gurus will tell you that you need to have touch points. Actually, it's just a case that people need to see you in more than one place at more than one time using artwork that's familiar to them. The more they see it is the better recall they get. The better recall they get is the more aligned they're going to get to what you're sharing, especially if the message relates to them specifically. So this is just something for you to think about, right? What I do with businesses is that I actually help them to get clarity on the best way to build strategies, but also the best way to get results, monetize your brand, and also look at cost-effective solutions. So that means regardless if you've got £50 or £500 a week to spend on your marketing, it's looking at the best way to actually assign and allocate those resources. So just have a think about what you're doing at the minute. Are you actually coordinating your efforts strategically, or are you just fighting and shooting in the dark to see what will happen if you distribute a few leaflets here and, you know, make a few calls here and maybe go to this event? Are you coordinating in your approach? Are you running campaigns, or are you just shooting in the dark and doing different ad hoc things when it comes to your marketing? I can almost guarantee you that for those of you that haven't got a structured approach where there's no campaign, you're probably not getting the results you really deserve. So message me and let me know if you want some tips on that. Also, I want to say to you that, you know, if you have awareness within yourself that you know you need help with branding and marketing, there's lots of free tips that I've got online. YouTube channel, Facebook videos, IGTV on this very platform. You can get lots of tips from me absolutely free. So get the help if you need it, because there's nothing worse than doing things in your business where you're not getting any real results. Nothing worse than that. In fact, you're wasting time. And we all know how quickly 6 months went. So you know that in another 6 months, we're already in 2020, right? So today I spoke to you about campaign promotion. Have you got campaigns coming up? What are you planning for the different months that are coming up? You've got lots of different activities and events, special days and calendar events coming up that you can piggyback off of, but you've got to know how to coordinate it. If you're not sure, please do book a session with me or register to go onto my masterclass where we'll be mapping out campaigns for the rest of this year for every single individual business owner that attends. That's on the 6th and 7th of July at a lovely venue in London. We're going to be looking at your branding and marketing in terms of how you can actually improve it to get better results. So if at the moment you haven't got structure, you don't have a plan, if at the moment you're not really sure on who your customers are, or you're not really clear on the best way to actually get results, maybe you've got limited funds, or maybe your funds have dried out and you're not really sure what you need to do to actually get better results, then my advice to you would be do your best to try and come along on the 6th and the 7th. Otherwise, what will happen is you're going to continue as you are without the clarity, without the information that you need, and possibly waste a lot of time and money in the process. What's important to me is that for the rest of this year, I drive home that actually what's really important is coordinated marketing efforts. So when we talk about campaign promotion, what we're talking about here is understanding that by you having various things running at the same time, where you're using very similar visuals, very similar messaging, where you've actually got people that are being attracted to what you're doing, that's a campaign. And then obviously once your campaign's been executed, you also need to know what you're going to do to manage the relationships that you're creating through the campaign, whether that's leads that you're generating, whether that's inquiries by phone, whether that's text messages, whether that's direct mail. You've got to look at the best way and the best processes to manage that. So just some food for thought. If you watch this on the replay, let me know. If you've got any questions, also let me know. But campaign promotion is really where you're up-leveling your business from just doing the standard textbook, you know, branding and marketing, print, to actually looking at a strategy that implements a campaign where you're using multi-channel approaches, okay? strategic, integrated approaches. This is what my background has been for the last 23 plus years. Now, if you want to know more, as I said, please do message me direct. I'm also on day 2 of my 5-day coaching program, which is just £27. So for any of you that feel that what I'm saying resonates with you or makes sense, you want to join it, you haven't missed that much on day 1. We've just done a very small activity, but day 2 we're going to get right into it. So we're looking at your branding, your marketing, and the best way in which you can actually do effective strategies with ease, without feeling overwhelmed and without feeling like, oh, this is awful, this marketing really gets on my nerves, or it's boring, or it's a pain. Marketing shouldn't be like that, because marketing is what's going to help you grow your business, right? The campaigns you build, the messages you create, the artwork you create in your brand, that's what actually generates the sales, believe it or not. And a lot of us haven't yet registered that. So if you haven't got your marketing together, definitely would encourage you to click the link in my bio at the moment to work with me for 5 days for just £27. And of course, if you can't do that, maybe you don't feel up to it, then there's lots of free content that you can access. But remember, free is not really a sensible strategy if you know you need the help. And for £27, it's definitely worthwhile investing if you do want clarity on what you should be doing to get the best results. Take care, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.